Hello, welcome to Wimbledon. This is part two of a two-part series where I tried out the rental scooters in the town where I live. In the first video, I got on a scooter for the first time, learned how to use the app, learned how to ride the scooters, and then I headed into the town. I ran a few errands, and then I headed down to the supermarket. Now, unfortunately, my cameras weren't recording for that part of the journey between the town and the supermarket, so we sort of catch up after I've left the supermarket with my bag of shopping and heading home. So I'll get on with that. But what I will do at the end of the video is I will put together another bit in the studio here, just sort of talking about what I think and some of the comments that I've received on my YouTube channel and on Facebook on the groups that I've shared it in. So let's just watch this part of the video and then I'll see you at the other end. Right then, that's my shopping done. So what have I got? I've got a loaf of bread, some toilet roll, a jar of runny honey, glass jar, 6 eggs and some bananas. And what I want to do is see whether I'm going to be able to get home on this scooter without cracking any of it, which I think is going to be fun, isn't it? Also, I've not got enough space in my backpack to put it all in, so I'm going to have to somehow transport it on the deck, aren't I? So I'm going to get me app back out and see if I can get this scooter going again. Trying to work out which is the best way to go back. Now, obviously I'm supposed to stay on the roads according to the rules that they say, but if I go that way, I end up on a bloody great dual carriageway. And I think it's still within the area, but I'm not going to go that way. I'm going to go back this way. So yeah, let me put you back in my pocket and off we go. That doesn't look like it's going to work very well. Oh, it's got a little hanger. Okay, so it does have this little hanger. Let me change the camera angle for the journey back. Let's just see what we get. Okay, so open my app. Where's my app? There's my app. I'm right on top of it. It's got me. Unlock. Okay, and we're off again. Right, I think what I've been doing wrong is I've not been pressing the brake pedal. I think you're supposed to press the brake and then it'll go. Nope, still doesn't seem to do anything. Maybe if I press both the brakes and then press go. Nope. No, I really don't understand it. No, still doesn't want to do anything. That young girl looked at me as if to go, yeah, silly old man, you don't know what you're doing. Leave it to the youngsters. Nope, still not getting anywhere. This is ridiculous. Come on. Okay. How do you make it? Nope, still not doing anything. I'm not pushing it all the way up this hill. Oh, there it goes. It just seems to take a second. Right, we're off again. Oh God, this is rattling me all over the place. Yep. Right, we're going back a slightly different way, but okay. I'm beginning to get the hang of the controls now. Okay, got these gates here to slow the cyclists and obviously the scooter people down. Yep. Right then. Oh, I knew that one. I saw that just at the last minute. My bag of shopping is wobbling all over the place. Oh, this is crazy. That bag of shopping is wobbling like you wouldn't believe. Setting up a pendulum. I feel like I'm going to tip over. Right, quickly cross over. Cross over there. Cross over there. Go on, go on, go on, go on. And off we go. Right. It's a bit smoother on the tarmac. So this is going to be quite a long journey, this one. Hopefully you can hear me. Obviously you're going to get wind noise because I'm moving along. I've got my little microphone thing on. Way up. I bet that's pissed him off, hasn't it? He's probably like, why aren't you on a path, you way up. Okay. Right, I'm going back a particular way because I might see me mate. Give us a tow, mate. Morning. My shopping bag's still wobbling from side to side. I've got no way of steadying it. And these bloody great holes in the road, look. Oh. Can't see over my shoulder. I don't want to take my hands out. It's not like cycling, I'll tell you that much. Right, I'm turning right here. Right, you can't signal. Right, dun-dun. Up. My shopping's going again. No, my phone's ringing now. Obviously I can't answer that. It's gonna have to wait, isn't it? Oh dear. It's probably someone's just seen me, isn't it? Let me just have a look at my phone.
A few moments later.
All right, mate. See you in a bit. Bye. Right, I think when you set off, you have to sort of press the brake and then do the thing. Yeah, I'm having to hold me shopping with me foot. I came this way, my mate's not even there. Right, we're on the home leg now, really. Definitely quicker than walking. I mean, it's not bad. I do, but obviously, like cars, okay, I'm going downhill in a second. I'm not looking forward to this. Oi! I mean, shopping's swinging all over the place. Oh. Some miserable buggers around, aren't there? Oh, I'm not getting up much more speed. Way up, my shopping's gone again. I'm nearly back to where I picked this up from, which is good. Whoop. Dunk. Oh, speed humps. Right, now we're going uphill. See, if I was cycling, this would actually be a bit more difficult, wouldn't it? I'm not having to do anything here, which is nice, but it's also, it's no way of keeping fit, is it? Hey up, my shopping's set me up for a right wobble there. It's acting as a sail, actually, me shopping, isn't it? Apart from it's not, it's actually more like a parachute. It's going backwards. Right. Still going to talk about how much all this has cost, haven't I? Right, don't know which way they're going. Oh. Okay. I'll be honest, I'm freezing. It is cold. I don't know, it was like 2.5 degrees when I left the house. See, I'm sort of subject to the traffic laws here, haven't I? Me up, me up. I'm just going to go back on the path now because I'm nearly where I need to be. Woo! Coming through! Coming through! Up! Small people. Wee, blooming heck. Right. Thank you. Up. So there's the one that I couldn't get started, but I think now I've got the hang of this, I think I might have been able to get it started. I think you have to press the brakes before. I think what I'll do is I'll leave it outside of the bit of the road there. The path where I'm not allowed to go down, even though it's a cycle path. I think it's probably because they can't come and collect them and service them and charge them, because it is off the beaten track. But that's where I'm going to leave it. Just down here. So, that is the end of my Voice scooter ride. Let me just, oh, my nose is running. My hands are cold. Oh God, what do I do here? Just put that out there. Okay, so that is the end of my scooter ride. I'm going to just quickly do the app so it stops charging me. We'll have a look how much it costs when we get back, but give me a minute. So that is the end of that. I've left the scooter there, and that's as far as I can go with it, really. I'm not allowed to go down this cycle path or anything like that. And now I've got to walk back to the car, which I've left just over here, and get in the car and drive the rest of the way home. I mean, I could walk, but it's about half a mile. So yeah, that's pretty much it, really. I suppose what I'll do is I'll finish this video in the studio, because by then I'll have worked out how much that's just all cost me, and talk about what I think about it, I suppose. So for now, I'll see you in the studio. Right, I hope you enjoyed watching me riding around on the scooter and just sort of followed along on the journey. But what I want to do now is kind of talk about what I actually thought of the scooters. Now, obviously, it's my opinion. You might have a different opinion, but I've sort of broken it down. I've got a few notes here and there, and I've got some comments from various channels from YouTube and from Facebook, and I'm just going to go through those. So I'm starting off with practicality. Because of the geofencing, because of the fact that the scooters will only go into certain places, they're not particularly practical for somebody like me who lives in a semi-rural environment. I have to go from here down into the town before I can even hire a scooter. So that really doesn't work for people like me. If you're in the town, I'm sure, you know, if you're going from one part of the town to the other part of the town, I'm sure they're pretty good. But for me and my wife, who doesn't even drive, she'd have to walk into the town, and then maybe she could get on a scooter and do what she needed to do. Another thing that you'll have noticed in the video is that there's nowhere to put anything. You know, you can't, realistically, you need a backpack, but then you're limited to what you can do. You can't do a proper shop. You can, you know, they've got that little thing for hanging a bag on it, but it's not particularly secure. The shopping bag was still wobbling around, as you saw in the video. So practicality wise, they're great if you just want to go, if you live in the town already and there's one right outside your door, or somewhere close by, and you want to just shoot into town and do simple stuff like going to the bank, or going to a service provider like a phone, get your phone changed or whatever. But if you need to carry anything around, I don't think they're particularly good at that. So that's that. Okay, then I'm going to go on to safety. Now, from my point of view, I'd never ridden one before, and I had to learn literally as I'd picked it up. There's nothing anywhere to really tell you about how to get them started properly. There was the little thing on the phone in part one that you probably saw where it said squeeze the levers and this, that, and the other, but that still didn't seem to work. It was only on the very final leg of the journey, which in all took me about, I was probably on the scooter for nearly half an hour. It was only as I got to sort of the last 10 minutes that I actually realised, kind of got the hang of it. And some of the comments that I've seen on Facebook in particular were, get on the road. Now, that's fine once you've got the hang of it. But to learn, you really don't want to be on the road because you're going all over the place. So I think some kind of, video or something, how to use them would be a good idea. Now, I'm sure there is one, but it wasn't pushed to me on the app or anything. So I just had to learn on the go. It's not like riding a bike. On a bike, you're seated, you've got your handlebars here, and you can look around. Because, I don't know what the reason is, because you're on the scooter, you try turning around, and your hands feel like you're taking the front wheel with it, and the wheels are only, 6 inches wide. So as soon as you start turning, you're losing your stability. The centre of gravity is a lot different than riding a bike, obviously, because I'm quite a big bloke, and I'm standing on this little 6-inch platform, and then I've got my shoulders and everything up here, and especially when the bag started wobbling, it really did start going off, so that wasn't particularly good. I've got some horror stories as well, and I'll read one of the comments here. Chap on YouTube said to me, we've had these in Berlin since 2019, and I have to admit, I thought at the time, if people accept these, then that's the end of critical thinking and the end of civilization as we know it. Fair enough. They're well sus. Small wheels, footplate on the axle line, all of the payload weight above the axle line. I've seen some appalling accidents on them. My mate's sister crashed into a car on one, and it left her disabled. She only has about 30% of her strength and mobility in her hands after the wrist injuries, and that's 3 years and 6 ops down the line. She also broke her back, pelvis, and fractured her skull. Unlike a bike, there's nothing to absorb any impact, no wheel or frame. And I speak as a cyclist who's had a stack which caused life-changing injuries. So there you go, this is what I'm saying about the bike. It's not like riding a bike at all. And also, they're not particularly comfortable. I was literally being jolted, and I'm 50 years old now. I feel things that I'm sure if I was 25 or 20, whatever, then they'd be perfectly fine, but they're not really suited to, and I know that it's aimed at the younger market, it's aimed at these younger people. Oh, my computer screen's just died, there we go. But, they should be usable for everybody. Okay, then I go on to the green credentials. Now, obviously, part of the reason that this is being pushed is because it's a green form of transport. However, you've got to think to yourself, the batteries need, sourcing. And you can look into, there's all kinds of stories on the internet about where the batteries come from, who's mining the cobalt or the lithium or whatever. But you draw your own conclusions. I'm not going to jump into that, but they obviously need charging as well. So what happens at the end of the day when the batteries have been used and people have ridden around on them, a van comes around. Now I have seen that it says it's an electric van, fine, but that also needs charging, and that charge needs to come from somewhere. So it's not like there's free electricity just out there. The electricity has to come from somewhere, and in this country, in the UK, we rely pretty much on coal-fired and gas-fired power stations, as far as I'm aware. Yes, there is some renewable energy, there is some wind, there is some solar, but there's just not enough. And the more and more that we look towards getting electric vehicles and electric scooters and electric bikes, we're going to need more and more electricity. So if we could cover the whole land with solar panels. As we use more and more electricity, we're going to need more and more charging, and there just won't be enough. I don't think there ever will. There are talks underway. I did look into the company. to install wireless charging stations, which would mean that would negate you wouldn't need a van to come around and charge them, but that would also mean that people would have to take them to those wireless charging stations, which then would, you'd have like a bus stop, they wouldn't be as convenient, because you'd have to take them to a particular place and then go from there to wherever it is you want it to be. And obviously batteries, they have a finite life, like a diesel engine does or a petrol engine does. I fully understand that. But at some point, you have to, dispose of them. And they are being disposed in a responsible manner. A company in Luton is disposing of them apparently, and taking out the lithium and the copper and all those kind of things, and reusing them. I don't know. I'm not involved in that, but that's, they are trying to do it as conveniently and environmentally friendly as they can. So yeah, there's a certain green element to it, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done on the whole electric way of living before it can be fully accepted, I think. The next thing I've got on my list is public perception. Now, this is a very big thing, certainly in and around the town that I live in, and I'm sure it's probably the same in other places, like in Birmingham, where apparently they've got them in Birmingham and Coventry. The public, from what I can see, on the whole, see them as a nuisance. The kids go tearing around on it, and I say kids, people go tearing around on them, usually younger men, go tearing around on them. They have no road sense. They don't care whether they're on the pavements. They don't care whether they're running through the town or what, this, that, and the other. And they leave them, across the path. You often see them lying on their side. I've seen pictures of them dumped in brooks and ditches and things. And they're very much like the old shopping trolleys. Back when I was young, little kid, very, very small, shopping trolleys, you didn't put a pound in or a token in to get the shopping trolley. You just got the shopping trolley. And then they were just left scattered around the car park, wherever, up the road and this, that and the other. And the scooters are very much like that. I think more needs to be done to make sure that they are returned to a place. I don't know how you do that. It's more about educating society, which I'm sure we'd all love to do, but there you go. And also, I do have, here, I've got one, somebody saying they should be banned. That's just a comment, should be banned. And that's what a lot of people think. Okay, this is a really interesting one. Ownership. Now, Voi, the scooter company itself, is a Swedish company. And obviously they are funding all of this. Obviously the councils are involved in it. They're not putting the money up, but they're allowing these scooter companies, and it's not just Voi. There are these different scooter companies all over the country vying for business. And why are they vying for business? Because where there's business, there's profit. And at the moment in Wellingborough and Northamptonshire, the profits are going to a Swedish company. It's not staying here, and that to me is very, very strange. The next thing I've got is somebody on here on Facebook said, I don't see the point in them when people can go buy their own and use them. Now that's very interesting. In this country, in the UK, it's illegal to ride a privately owned electric scooter on the public roads. You will get, they are confiscated. The funny thing is that in Halfords, which is I think probably the largest car transport company in the country, they sell them. They sell them from £500 to £1,000, but you're not allowed to use them. So I was chatting with Purple from Purple Vision the other day, and we were talking about this. He actually raised it, and I was like, of course, yeah, you're not allowed to use them. And it strikes me as very strange that the police, the council, this company that runs them, Voi, have sort of cornered the market, have said, we're going to provide these scooters for you, and you're not allowed to use them. Now, there is something about, I don't know if you know anything about the Great Reset. It's probably worth looking at. A chap called Klaus Schwab, who's part of the World Economic Forum, and his cohorts have said that by 2030, we will own nothing. The general proletariat, us, people, we will own nothing, and we will be happy. And this is a kind of step in that direction, because it's this company, this corporation, Voi, they own the scooters. They essentially own the rights to us moving around under electric power, under two-wheeled electric power, because they also own the bikes. And it's not just Voi, there's other companies doing it, but we're not allowed to do that. Now, electric bikes are slightly different. I know that you can have an electric bike in this country, but electric scooters are a no-no, and I think that's a very strange and slightly sinister thing, really. Especially when you can buy them, you know, you spend £1,000, you go half a mile down the road on them, riding perfectly safely, perfectly, you know, within all the laws, with a helmet on and everything, and then the police can come over and take it off you. Anyway, that's, I think that's a bit dodgy. Anyway, moving on to cost. Okay, it cost me. I did 4 journeys, essentially. The first journey was in part 1, where I couldn't actually get it to run. And I sort of took it, hired it, got me about 50 yards, the motor didn't even start up, £1.42. The second part was when I went from just the second scooter into the town, £2.52. Then from the town to the shops was £2.26. And then from the shops back home, or back to the roundabout, £3.73. Altogether, £9.93. Take off that first journey, because I didn't know what I was doing, £8.51. Now, I don't think that that's unreasonable, to be honest. I was expecting it to be more expensive than that. If I was to get a bus to do the same journey, so I can get a bus not far from my house here, it would be £2 into the town. Then from town down to the shops, another £2. Then from the shops, I'd have to come back into town and then back. So it's an £8 journey. Yeah, I mean, it would work, but then I'd have to wait for the bus and make sure that, you know, it could take quite a lot longer. And obviously, you've got to stack it up against cars, private vehicle ownership. I own a diesel car, Vauxhall. We've talked about it on other videos, and we'll be talking about it more in the future. But the cost of owning a car is, it's expensive. Tax, insurance, fuel, maintenance, all of that adds up. But for me, with not having a scooter being able to be parked outside, it's useless. I have to have a car, because I live, like I say, in a semi-rural area. So what I'm thinking of doing, if this video gets enough sort of traction, what I might do is do a trip using public transport, and do the same trip in my car for a future video. I'm thinking maybe go into Wellingborough, across Wellingborough on a scooter, down to Milton Keynes, to the train station, down to Milton Keynes. I think they've got scooters down there. I think they're owned by a different company, but across Milton Keynes and then to the bus station, and then bus back to Wellingborough, or back to where I live. I'd like to see, obviously, the costs and all that kind of thing. So that'll be, in a future video, if you'd like to see that kind of thing. That pretty much sums it up. This video's dragging on now. All in all, I think that they could be really, really good. Certainly for younger people. The one thing that gets in the way for younger people is you have to have a driving licence, and less people now, certainly in the bigger cities, are getting driving licences, because obviously all these forms of transport are available, and why have a driving licence, if you're not leaving the city. But I do have somebody here who said, these are amazing. I have nerve damage in my right leg, so walking long distances can be difficult, but these are a lifesaver, as appointments are no longer missed and I don't have to pay for a cab. Bear with me, I just need a drink. So there you go. That's a positive story. So they do work. I'm not saying they don't work. They don't work particularly well for me. I already own a car. I'm not going to get out of my car at this point to start using those, because absolutely that wouldn't work for me. I work out of my car as well, and put my tools in there and go off to do jobs and things. So I think they may have a future. There's certainly something there, but I think there's a lot of work needs to be done before they become acceptable forms, an acceptable alternative to what we're using at the moment. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments. Please keep them, polite. Don't start slinging insults at me or, at each other in the comments. It is what it is. They are here. We do have them. And that's pretty much it. I've really enjoyed putting these videos together. It's a slightly different format. I'm very nervous. I won't pretend otherwise. This isn't what I normally do. So if you've liked the video, please, comment, subscribe, press the like button, tell your friends, share it around, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.